Good evening and welcome to the APPF1 Tier 1 Championship. We are at the Baku City Circuit in Azerbaijan for round 6, the penultimate round. We've got plenty. We've got so many drivers in the running for the championship. It's that unreal. Just looking to see the format, the points format that is for this respective championship, because I know a lot of sim leagues have different point systems to others. And of course, Vardy QTR is the reigning champion from last season on F1 2020. So we begin with an 18-minute qualifying session that will determine the grid, followed by a 26-lap Grand Prix. So we have 17 involved this evening. So we're just waiting for some drivers to make their way out onto the racetrack. And I can tell you in the championship standings is that MX in the Alfa Romeo leads the way by 5 points, and it's Aces versus Kings in second on 77. And we've got a three-way tie for third between Ghost, Palfs and Scott, with Jack in sixth on 71. But as ever, anything can happen. I can see a car heading out of the pit lane. That is Taylor in the Haas. And Taylor is on 19 points in 18th in the championship overall. So we've got Baku here, and the final round of the championship. Just have to see where the final round of the season will be. But what I do know is that the top 20, so all 20 drivers that compete, providing they all finish, they get points. The winner gets 20, the winner gets 19, third placement gets 18, etc. So it's like a point per place, if that makes sense. And so Taylor will be starting his first time lap in the Haas right now. It's a long back straight, 2.2 kilometres apparently. And so Taylor begins his lap now. Mirroring open. There's a couple of Red Bulls who are just going through turn 3 now, which Taylor's going to be on the back of them very shortly. So entering turns 5 and 6. No problem there for Taylor. So far this season we've raced in Silverstone, Bahrain, and then France was the 5th race. I don't actually quite know the other rounds that they've done so far this season. I think they've also raced at Singapore and Brazil. But Taylor is coming onto the pit straight then. Rear wing open. Maybe get a toe off the Red Bull ahead. 1 minute 40.3. But there's an Alfa Romeo crossing over the line. That's MX, the championship leader. 1 minute 40.4 for him. We've got Koru in the other Haas. Next behind. One minute 39.9. So the first sub 100 second lap goes to Koru. There's Emiliano. And they're going fifth with a 141.5. He looks to get his first lap on the board here. And Zumo goes to the top of the table with 139.2. What can Speed Alcoholic do here in the Mercedes? Is this going to be a 1 minute 39 as well? It is. It's good enough to put him in P2. There's Palves in the Aston Martin. He aims for a good lap as well. No one has gone off so far in this session, which is good to see. If you do see yellow flags, the likelihood is just drivers moving out of the way and slowing down in order to do that. Palves goes 7th in front of his Aston Martin teammate Davila. We've got 2 Red Bulls coming through now. Ted is the first and then goes straight after. This is going to be very, very close. So Ted over the line. It's a 140.9. He'll be disappointed with that, to be quite honest with you. Whereas Ghost has gone up to third with a 139.6. So Vardy's just started the lap. Tira's done the same. Kings and Rick are out on the circuit. Scott's still stuck in the pits, as is Womax. And Koru improves his time by a couple of tenths to go up to 4th place. So he displaces his teammate once again, or he furthers the gap over his teammate, I should say. Or the wall, but that would have been a glitch within the game itself. So Vardy looks to pull away here. So interceptor 2, 114.7 for him through that. By the time he gets through that, there is an Aston Martin ahead of him, which he may just get a bit of a toe. It's probably too far ahead of him to get some form of toe. So Vardy will be going over the line without that. Here he comes then. Vardy over the line, 139.5. He goes into the top 3. Here's his teammate Tia. His lap time's not been very good, so 144.3 for him. He may decide to go for another effort. Rick is on a flying lap now. Koru makes his way back into the pits. I think that being Ghost, actually, is going back into the pits. Koru will be doing the same shortly. So Ted goes up to 10th with a 145. Rick through the castle section of turn 8. Losing it. Coming out of turn 12 there, which won't do the car too good, or the tyres too good on the exit. He's making his way through now. This is a very interesting lap here from Rick. It's 115.2. He's a long way away from what Vardy had set earlier. So Rick over the line, 139.8, goes 6th. So he actually managed to find some time in the last sector. We'll go to Tia, who's on a much better lap than before. He's even got an Alpha Tauri team over his that he can use a toe on. And his fuel gauge just run out, so only good enough for 12th there. Had it not been for that, he'd probably have been in the top 6. Here's Kings in the Alpine. And the start time of his is good enough to put him on the front row next to Gilligan. So Ted makes his way back into the pits. Tia slows down as he's out of fuel. Hammers on another flying lap. I think Rick is going for another run as well. He's run wide on the exit of turn 12. Now he lost the rear a little bit coming out of that same corner. This time he's run wide, so I wonder if Rick's going to lose a heap of time. He's decided to back off now as well. So you'll need to watch for Taylor, who makes his way through turn 12. And Taylor's 6/10 down from before, so I think he may as well just get back to the pits. I bought the lap he's on. Now MX is on a faster time than where he had set beforehand. There's Jackalak in the McLaren who's on a lap. There's Davila, who makes his way through the castle section now. And the AlphaTauri is slowing down and staying out of the way. Now here's MX, who's nearly 3/10 up from before, so he's potentially looking, only moving up one position here. So where is this going to put MX here? Is this going to be good enough for him to move into the top 8 here? It is. Is over a 10th behind Rick. Let's get into P7. Now Jack in the McLaren makes his way through turn 16. There's Tia staying out of the way there. And Alcoholic has crashed at the castle section, and his qualifying session goes no further. So Jack over the line, 1 minute 40.2, a couple of tenths faster than before. He goes into 10th position. And Ghost coming through turn. Nice use of the curves as well. Where is this going to place him? So Ghost heading over the line now. It's a 1:39.1, and he goes to provisional pole by 0.04 of a second. Now Koru, who's on a flying lap, is coming towards the end of it now. It's a 1:39.2, and he misses out on pole there by 18 thousandths of a second. Here's Vardy in the AlphaTauri, nearly 4/10 up from before, so he's looking good actually to get onto pole position. The reigning champion. There's a McLaren behind him as well. Of Jack, I believe, who's just about to come towards the end of his lap. Vardy goes to provisional pole by over a tenth. Jack goes in the pits. Well, great lap that from Vardy to the track. Clearly is getting quicker by the second. Max's lap has been invalidated, so he'll have to go again. Now here is Koru in the Haas. That's his time, like in turn 16. Yeah, his fuel gauge is empty, so he may as well make his way back in. Has he got enough time for one last effort? Well, Ted most certainly will be looking to improve on his 14th position here. We'll go to Emilio next because he's making his way towards turn 16 now. His time in Sector 2 is really, really poor, so he'll be making his way back to the pits. We've got two AVATARis on circuit together. Vardy, who will be making his way back into the pit lane, and Tia, who is on an out lap. So Ted makes his way through. He's only 600ths up from before, so he's going to be an improvement, but not by much here from Ted. Now Ted goes into this round 15th on 27 points. The man from Northern Ireland. And he goes up to 12th of his latest lap. And Max doesn't look as though he's going to be back out on track in time. Definitely not in time for the checkered flag. Rick makes his way back in. His session is done. So Max does come out on track. He's got actually enough time. But he hasn't got time to dawdle around. So who's on a lap then? So Hammers is on a lap. Tia will be the next one to complete a lap time here. He's in 15th. Don't think he's on a flying lap actually. He's on a recon lap by the looks of it. And by the time he gets around to the line, it will be going to be his last attempt. 1 minute to go then. Now Ted will be looking to improve on his 12th place here. He's a 10th up from before. I think Davila may be on a flying lap. He is on a flying lap, but he's only just begun it. So we'll stay with Ted. His teammate's just ahead of him. He's about to begin his final attempt. Ted crosses over the line. And he doesn't improve. So Ted will remain in 12th place. Who is the next driver to cross over the line? That'll be Jack, I believe. Or is it one of the Hasses? It's Koru, who's going over the line to start a lap. But Taylor has had his last lap time, or the one he's on currently, invalidated for track limits. No, do we see any position changes as we speak? Scott's in 7th place on a 1:39.7. He won't be improving. The checker flag is out now. And Gulligan in the Alfa Romeo in 4th place. Here is MX, championship leader. Not at the front of the grid at the moment. That's occupied by Vardy. MX over the line. He does not improve. No improvement at all. And Davila over the line for Aston Martin, goes 9th. Better luck there from him. And Tia will be next over the line for AlphaTauri. And he goes up to 13th. And Pulse won't be in the frame for pole position. He's currently 15th on a 140.5. This is most certainly going to be an improvement. He goes up to 11th, but we want to go to Ghost, who's going over the line now. And he goes to a provisional pole position at the moment. So Ghost has displaced Vardy into P1. Corrio's backed off on his lap. Now Womax is yet to set a time. It's not very quick at the moment anyway. And Taylor going very well on this lap actually for Haas. He'll get a bit of a tow as well. He goes up to 7th place there. So what lap time is Womax going to do here? It's only 140.7 and he stays 17th. So Ghost is on pole position then for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix with Vardy 2nd and Koru in 3rd place. So here's your grid then for the race then. Ghost on pole ahead of Vardy and Koru next ahead of Gilligan in 4th place. It's Kings and Alcoholic on the 3rd row, followed by Taylor and Scott on the 4th row. Rick and Davila make up the top 10. MX and Pelbs are on row 6, followed by Jekaleko and Tia, Ted and Miliano on row 8, and Womax at the back. That was qualifying. We go on to the race for the 26th lap event. We'll be back in a moment. And the rain has come down on the Baku City Street Circuit, or the Baku City Circuit as it's officially known as. We know everyone's going to be starting on the intermediates. These are intermediate conditions, just a matter of how much fuel each driver will be on during the course of the event. Do make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're watching. Here we go then for the start of the formation lap. So Ghost leads the field rounds. Everyone is on intermediates, which is no surprise whatsoever. So the situation in the championship standings is that MX is 5 points clear of Kings, so Kings is starting 5th on the grid, MX only 11th. For MX to win the championship, he needs to be at least pretty much 21 points clear of everyone else in the standings, which is improbable but not impossible. So just 2 races to go, including this one. And so Ghost will lead the field round to the grid then. Now Ghost, who currently sits third on 72 points. He needs this victory really to stay in the hunt. And Vardy, who's a long, long way back, with only 40 points left on the table, he needs a miracle to take this championship, and he could do with a race victory to achieve that. The top 17, well, all 17 drivers would score points, providing they all finish, of course. But all finishers score points, and it's a 1 point difference between each position at the end of the race. So Ghost on pole, Vardy second. And then the field just slotting into position now. And we'll get this race underway very, very shortly. So the lights will come on in front of the drivers very, very shortly. Who will lead the field down into turn one? Ghost on the left, Vardy on the right. The 5 red lights appear in front of the drivers right now when they go racing. When they go out, we'll be racing here in Baku. It's lights out, and away we go. Ghost seems to get off the line fine, but gets a kick of wheel spin. Vardy's on the inside into turn one, and it looks like the Red Bull will stay in the lead for now. So Ghost leads ahead of Vardy, ahead of Koru, and it's Gilligan in 4th place in the Alfa Romeo, who goes to the inside of the Haas as they get into the second turn. But the Haas remains in 3rd position. They're going to go side by side, though, down this back straight as they get into the next 90-degree turn of turn 3. Gilligan diving to the inside, and he's through into P3. And the Haas gets tipped round, though, and causes quite a bit of mayhem behind. So Coro goes to the back of the field after that spin. And the other championship contenders, Aces versus Kings, is in 5th place right now. And MX is up 4 positions into 7th place. Oh, he's clipped the Haas of Taylor as they go into turn 5. But amazingly, MX doesn't lose any positions. So they're struggling to find grip so far on this first lap, some of these drivers. But Ghost leads through the castle section. I just wonder if the rest of the field will do the same as they'll get into turn 8. And they all do so there. But Taylor Sanders doesn't, and takes out Ted. So Ted is the first retirement from this race. Very, very unlucky, it has to be said. We've got a VSC, which could upgrade to a safety car. And it does so now. So Ted out of the race in the Red Bull. Goes no further. And we are down to 16. So I'm not expecting any pit stops at this stage. And Taylor's accident there has lost him his front wing, so he'll be in the pits for another set of the intermediates. It's nowhere near time for the dries just yet. And does Taylor get the cars down in time? He does so. Someone else is in the pits as well. Jack is also in. Emiliano as well in the Williams. It looks like Womax has got damage to his Ferrari. So he's now in. Taylor gets that front wing changed, and now he goes ahead of the Ferrari, and they'll rejoin in 15th and 16th positions. So Ghost leads behind the safety car with Vardy second, it's Gilligan third. Just look to see who has gained what from their starting positions. MX has gained 5 positions, but it's Tia who's gained the most. He's up 6 positions from 14th to 8th. And there's been a collision somewhere, not sure what's happened, but either way, Alcoholic has gone for a spin in the Mercedes. So that's his front wing damaged. Almost going into Austin Powers mode there. He's away anyway, but he's fallen down to 12th and with a broken front wing. So the safety car's lights are still on. I expect the pace car to continue on for one more lap, which will come to Alcoholic's rescue here because he's got a damaged front wing. Oh, he's crashed out as Alcoholic going too fast into turn 16, and his race is over. I think that's turn 15 actually, but he goes no further. So Alcoholic, after crashing behind the safety car, it was very needless, has to be said, because he was going to get round. The safety car was going to stay out for another lap anyway, and Alcoholic's just gone too. Perhaps explains it. So the drivers begin their third lap now. Now, I don't know about the rain as to when it will let up. Now goes one last week in Bahrain, and he's leading this one so far. And Emiliano crossed the white line as he exited the pits there, so that'll be a 5-second penalty. It'll be served at his next pit stop, or it'll be served at the end of the race. That's the second pit stop of the race either way, so he's not having the best time of it. I think Rick was also in the McLaren. It's just a shout out to APPF1's sponsor, High Dive Apparel. They've been involved over the course of the season. Oh, and that's Gilligan spinning round in the Alfa Romeo. So he's also gone for a spin. That promotes his teammate up another position. But Gilligan's dropped back from this now. And he's fallen down to, he's showing 12, but I think he's meant to be in 11th place. So the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. So Ghost will slow down and back the field up. I think the rain has stopped actually, so could dry tyres be far away here? And I think if you're someone at the back of the field, you may decide to take a gamble. Too greasy at the moment, it's the circuit, so I think the drivers will stay out there for one more lap and then duck into the pits for dries. But if you've got two cars in the running, that wouldn't necessarily be good news if they are fighting over position with each other. Having said that, for Ghost at the Red Bull, he's the only Red Bull left, so that won't matter to him. Here we go then. 3 laps down, 23 to go here in Baku. And Pals gets a penalty for a collision with Koru. And Taylor into the pits for a new front wing. Now, is he diving into the pits for dries, maybe? We'll find out in a moment. But Davila on the inside there of Scott. And it's going to be a change of position to see the Aston Martin up into 6th place. And MX is into the lead, actually. I don't know how he's managed to get himself in front there, but MX is now into the lead of this Grand Prix. I wonder if Ghost has run wide, actually, on the restart, and it's allowed the Alfa Romeo through. And Taylor has gone out on a set of dry compound tyres. And there's MX He's on the intermediates at the moment. He's just tiptoeing his way past turn 7. And one of his cars may be controlled by the AI at the moment, or he's lost connection. Yeah, I think he's lost connection actually as MX, so we hope to see him back in the lobby soon. Yeah, the car's ghosted, and Ghost is now back into the race lead. How ironic was that? So MX, we hope to see him back in the lobby before the race is over. Yeah, MX has left the session. I think he's going to try and rejoin. And looks like someone else has crashed out. It's Taylor on the slicks, and we've got another virtual safety car. Now, is this the time to be pitted in and get slicks on? Well, if he's gone off on slicks, it may not be the best side to be on right now. Ghost stays out. I think if you're someone at the back of the field, you want to probably take that gamble now. Scott's taking the opportunity. So he comes in. Palv's also in. So is Sumo and Wumax. So 4 drivers coming into the pits at the end of this lap to get slick tyres on. And out they come. Pals is at the back of the field actually. I wonder if he had front wing damage or something. So we resume. We will be resuming racing very shortly here. Now Ghost will be thinking about pitting in at the end of this lap, I would think. We're back on the way in Baku. Now Cora's been given 5 seconds for a penalty for a collision with Palvs, and Emiliano with a penalty for crossing the pit exit line after one of his stops. Other than that, no one else has any time penalties of any sort. Someone's gone off in sector 2. Who is that? That's Koru at the castle section, and he surely is taking some front wing damage after that. Yep, on the right hand side. I wonder if the DRS is disabled anyway. We're on the second lap of the restart, so the DRS won't be enabled yet, but I'd imagine it will do so by the time the leaders do cross over the start-finish line, unless they dive into the pits, of course. And Koru's gone into the barrier at turn 15 as continued. So Ghost stays out for another lap. And Kings decides the time is right for him to be coming in for slicks. Tia also doing the same. Rick posting a new fastest lap. And Koru is crashed out on the exit there. That could bring out a safety car with where he's parked. So both Haas drivers out of the race now. So Aces versus Kings able to get out in 5th position. Jack rejoining ahead of Sumo in 8th. Emiliano, I think, has taken his penalty, his next pit stop there. Or don't cross the light line, mate. Oh, you've just done it again. That tells you everything about his concentration. Didn't slow down enough. And leaders will be coming in at the end of this lap. Vardy needs to make sure he gets the car slowed down. It's the same for Ghost as well. There's MX, who's back in control of his Ferrari now in 3rd place. And Rick in 4th position. One and a half seconds up from what he's previously set, but that's hardly relevant now. Oh, and has Vardy gone into the wall? I think he has. Either way, Emiliano's out of the race at the castle section. That may bring out the safety car, and Ghost has clipped the barrier there as well as he came into the pit lane. And now we do have a safety car. Nearly took out the Red Bull as well as he came in. So the AlphaTauri comes in. No need for a change of a front wing, and Kings has now moved into the race lead as Ghost should rejoin in second place. So we have our second safety car of the race. So MX rejoins in 6th position, Rick in 7th ahead of Gilligan, and it's Jack, Wimax, Scott and Palfs. I think the safety car is going to remain out there, maybe just for this lap, because the whole field is back together now. So Emiliano out of the race. So Kings in the race lead. And Vardy's pit stop has left him in 4th place behind his teammate now, so Vardy will need to try and get in front of him for the sake of the championship. So as it stands, Kings is in the lead of the race. He'd go on to 97 points. MX is in 5th place currently, or 6th. He's just left the session actually, so he's had another connection issue. He would get 15 points, which see them tie on 97 points each. Ghost, who's in 2nd, would get 19 points. That puts him on 91. There's still a long way to go yet in this, and MX is just dropping back actually. Given these cars now controlled by the AI, and that's just allowing the field to go through. And Scott comes into the pits. Is this the medium tyres on? It's going to be the mediums. And he'll go to the end of the race on those now, I'd reckon. Although he may not do, because there's still a lot of laps to still complete at this rate. So Wumax is in 8th now. So Scott has reached the back of the field in 12th. And the safety car goes in at the end of this lap, which will see Kings dictate the pace. And there's a question mark over whether the leaders will come in again at the end of the race. We know Davila and Womax are expected to. There's no way they'll get to the end on the soft compounds. We've only got 12 cars remaining in this one. Kings is left in the safety car go. The pace car has reached the pit lane now. Rick has been penalised for a collision with Gilligan. Here we go then. And Kings leads. As you can see, Vardy making a move on his teammate there, right round the outside, and Vardy is through into third place. And now the field will make their way through turn 2 here. Davila thinking about a move on Tia as they go through turn 2. And at the back, you can see Winmax, Pals and Scott fighting over 10th place. So Ghost is behind Kings in the battle for the race lead here. There's no DRS for the first 2 laps of the restart. And now they're going to go through the castle section now, as Vardy, Tia, Davila and Rick follow suit. And there's Scott at the back there in the Alpine. So we've got one Alpine at the back and one at the front. Rick diving to the inside there, Davila into turn 16. That's a very nice manoeuvre there from the McLaren to get himself up into 5th place. And now we watch Gilligan breeze past Davila on this long pit straight. And Kings with a new fastest lap, as I think Davila's entering the pit lane because I think he's got damage to his Aston Martin. He's been penalised for speeding in the pits as well. And it's hard tyres going on. Should go to the end of the race on those. And someone's gone off. It's Rick in the McLaren. He's had a moment. He's fallen down the field to 11th position. I wonder if he clipped the wall or something that caused the car to spin round. He's carried on anyway. So the top 2 making their way through. The corners of 18 and 19 is like a small kink of turn 20. There's still no DRS at this point, but it will be enabled at the beginning of the next lap. So Rick and Davila with time penalties at the moment. And goes with a new fastest up there, 1:43.0. So Scott passing Rick as well. Oh, he's going to battle with Rick. Still no change of position there at the moment. We can see goes with the DRS then behind Kings as they go into turn 3. And Davila in the pits again for Aston Martin. And a new front wing's ready for him. And Rumax is out of the race. Exit turn 3 is where he's crashed. And it's another safety car. So this is very much come to Double R's rescue. Now, I think if you're the race leader, you'll be thinking about getting a set of the hard compound tyres on. Unless you're prepared to take a gamble on another set of mediums, of course. And Jack has been penalised for speeding under the safety car and gets a drive-through penalty for that. So this is our third safety car of the race so far. So who's going to be pitting at the end of this lap then? I don't think we're expecting any rain at the moment. I'm not expecting Kings to maybe come in and get a set of hard tyres on. Oh, he is. He is coming in. Now, will it be hards or will it be the mediums? Ghost also in, as is Tia and MX. Tia gets penalised for speeding in the pit lane. There's another set of mediums going on for Kings. He's had to wait for MX for one of the cars to go by, and Ghost rejoins behind the Alpine in third position. So the Alfa Romeo rejoins ahead of the McLaren. As Double R makes his way round, he's already just been in the pits, so I doubt he'll be back in for a third consecutive lap. So two drivers with penalties, Tia for speeding in the pits and Jack for speeding under the safety car, exceeding the delta under the safety car. It'll be a drive-through penalty of which he'll have to take when the pace car does go back in. So we're on lap 12. 6 retirements so far. They are Rumax, Emiliano, Koru, Taylor, Speed and Ted. Well, Vardy's still leading the race at the moment. He may decide to stay out there for as long as he can, but he's not going to be on fresher tyres than those behind him. Just released the poll now as well, so do let us know who your money on is to win. Do let us know in the poll. So Gilligan exits the pits now, and he rejoins in 11th place on a fresh set of mediums. The sun has come back out now in Baku. Vardy in the race lead at the moment, who would be on you get 20 points for this race, which would move him on to 75. Kings would move on to 96. Ghost would get 18 points, and this would move on to 90. Palves, who is in 7th place, would only get 14. That puts him on 86. Scott, who's in 8th place, would get 13 points and move on to 85. And Jack, who's in 6th place right now, but he'll be dropping to the back. He'll get 15 points in this one and move on to 86. And MX at the moment, who's in 5th place, 16 points for him and move on to 98. So the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. So Vardy will let the Mercedes safety car to go away and leave himself some space for when he does make a run down to that first turn. So Vardy's on older mediums as well, so just keep an eye out on that. I expect Jack to duck into the pit straight away and stay out of everyone's way. So we go then. Vardy leads. So we can see a battle between Ghost and Kings as they go into turn 1. Is Kings going to make the jump on the Red Bull? Yes, he does. So Kings gets past. He remains in 2nd position ahead of Ghost. As Tia looks to fend off MX behind. Jack has not come into the pits for his drive-through, so he can pass the line one more time, and then you have to take the drive-through after then, otherwise it will result in disqualification. So the leader's making their way through turn 4 now. So there's Vardy. He comes towards turn 8, gets the car slowed down in time. Do the others do the same? And they all do remarkably, which is good to see. So they all coming round then, turns 18 and 19. And Jack into the pits to serve his drive-through penalty. As we watch a couple of cars making positions there, as Scott gets past Gilligan to go up into 7th, and Rick on the inside of Davilo, or Davila. Jack rejoins in 11th place at the back after serving his drive-through. So Vardy leads, King's 2nd, Ghost in 3rd, then it's Tia and MX. And they all make their way through turn 7. And now we head into 8. And it looks though Rick has got in front of Gilligan as Dovlark goes into combat with him as well. So Aces versus Kings, so he's using his ERS here. Looks to get in front of Vardy. All the way down this pit straight. He goes to the inside, look. The AlphaTauri leaves him room. Who's going to have the upper hand here? Kings goes to the inside. This should be him going into P1 here, but he spins! Kings has spun! It loses time and place and nearly took out his teammate there as he rejoined. But he's fallen all the way down to 10th place after that mistake. So another twist in the tail to the title battle. It was good news for MX in the fact that he's in the lead of the championship and Kings is in second. All of this brings Ghost and Pulse right back into it at the moment, but MX's championship is very much his to lose now. He's got by tier as well into third place. Now Ghost is in second position. Now G-Ghost closing in on Vardy as they go through turn 15. And this is going to be a straightforward manoeuvre for him. I can't see Vardy fending this one off. Ghost is just going to have far too much pace in it. There we go, look. Opens the DRS. And this should be Ghost moving into the lead. See if there's any other changes to the field further down. There doesn't seem to be. And MX tussling with Tia at the moment for third place. So Vardy should still have DRS here actually, as the leaders make their way through. 18 and 19. Palves has gone round in the Aston Martin, has continued, so he's fallen down to 10th place after that spin. Ring open on Vardy's car as he closes in on Ghost. And Double R makes his way past Gilligan into 7th place, sorry. Gilligan into the pits. Has he got damage to his car? It looks like he has. He wouldn't be coming into the pits otherwise. Yeah, he's got front wing damage, so Gilligan out on a set of the soft compounds in 11th position. Kings has got back up into 7th place at the moment. Can he make that 6th? Because Rick is ahead of him. I wonder what Vardy may decide to do here. Will he decide to gamble and get a of the soft compound tyres on? He's out of DRS range now, so he must surely be thinking about coming in for a set of softs. And Vardy seems to have found a way to get back into DRS range here. so that Tia is going to use the DRS to good effect when he gets it open and close in on MX. But Scott is using ERS as well. Scott gets on the inside and he gets through into 4th position. Very nice move there from the Alpine driver. Vardy still behind the race leader, remarkably. He goes sliding out of control slightly. And Vardy should use the DRS as they go down the pit straight once more. Still no change. And here's Sumo Gilligan in the Alfa Romeo. I'm not expecting to be going for the fastest lap here. Although he might do with this lap. He's done so. 1:42.2 for him. He's outside the top 10 though, so he wouldn't get the points for the fastest lap. If there is a point for the fastest lap in APPF1. So 2 Aston Martins nose to tail in the battle for 8th. So it's going to be a straight sprint to the end of this one now. The field seems to have behaved or calmed down after the 3 safety car periods we've had. Now with Tia's penalty, it's 5 seconds, so that would lose him possibly 3 places, as now Rick has been penalised for track limits. And Kings dive into the inside of Tia. The battle for the lead still raging on. 1 second is the gap. Let's watch Scott and Kings close in on MX in the fight for 3rd place in this race. MX will be thinking more about the championship before they go into the last round next week. Kings. Oh, Scott nearly lost it there, but caught it in time. And now Kings is going to be right on his tail with DRS as they go down the pit straight. DRS open on Kings' car. Scott may go for it into turn 1 here on MX, and he's through. So Scott through into 3rd place. Kings makes contact with the Alfa Romeo. I think Kings is too far back to challenge there. On MX, it may well be just the next time they go onto the pit straight to see him make a move. So there's MX approaching Scott, or just behind Scott, but he's got Kings all over his tail as well. The top 2 in the championship now going head to head. He's made slight contact with the wall there, but I think he's probably got away with it. Here we go. Kings with DRS and with the ERS which he's using. Should be able to move in front of MX here, who's struggling with ERS. Oh, they nearly make contact as well as Kings goes to the inside. MX thinks about move. Kings has his 2nd spin of the race. That's another dent to his championship hopes. And he's fallen back down the field again. Down to 9th place. And now we watch the top 2. Now Vardy saved a lot of his ERS, but to be fair, so has Ghost. So Scott in 3rd, MX 4th. Both make their way through turn 12. He'll have the DRS, will Vardy. He saves some of his ERS. I think he's going to probably wait until the last lap, but the only problem he's going to have is Ghost. He's going to have a lot of ERS in his store. And Palves gets in front of Tia into 5th. And that's Kings fighting back on Davlart. Go up into 8th place with 3 laps to go. So Kings goes through turn 4 there. In 8th position. Rick diving to the inside here of Tia to go up into what is 6th position. The 2 make contact, but Rick should be through. And Tia wisely backing out of it. And MX is ahead of Scott, and that's why Scott has spun. Front wing gone as well on the Alpine. And he'll fall down to last place, no question. Maybe enough to deploy the virtual safety car with all that debris left over there. You can see Vardy then behind. Oh, it's a glitch, don't worry. So Tia getting back through into 5th place as Rick is very much struggling with his ERS now. He's run out of that. And we should see Kings dive into the inside into 2 and go up into 6th place. And he's going to have DRS as well because he was behind Tia at the the detection point within 1 second of him. So got into the pits. Gilligan also coming in for another set of these soft compound tyres. And into sector 1 has Scott gone off. Oh, I think that may be a glitch actually. Yeah, it will be a glitch, all that. Unless he has made a mistake somehow. Here's your top 2 then. This is Vardy's last chance on this pit straight. Into turn 1 anyway. Let's make a lunge. Aces is now ahead of Tia into 5th place. Recovering well. He's going to lose ground to MX in the race for the title. Here we go then. We're on to the last lap of this Grand Prix. Vardy right on Ghost's tail as they go through turn 1. So rear wing closed on Vardy as we go through turn 3. Palf is right behind MX as well, so do not roll him out of the podium just yet. So Ghost looking to hold off Vardy right all the way to the checker flag here. He's got a good chance of doing so, providing he keeps his car on the track. Second place, still a good finish for Vardy, but I doubt he's still going to be in the running for the race of the title going into the last round. Next week, DRS Open. Well, not DRS, so if he was using the ERS actually, was Vardy. Now he's got so much in store, he may as well use it all up. So here's Ghost, going through the last few corners, and just this long pit straight to get through. And victory will be his. He's run out of his ERS usage actually, and it's allowing Vardy to close up. But Ghost has done enough. He wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in Tier 1. Ghost wins. Vardy less than a second behind. And another 13 seconds back is MX, who should hold on to 3rd place ahead of Pals, unless Pals can get him on the line here. MX just holds on. No, Pals has got him. Pals got him over the line. So Pals is on the podium. Aces is 4th ahead of MX, who appears to have dropped back. Jack is in 6th place. Davalar 7th. Tier dropping down to 8th because of the penalty he's got. Rick will be 9th. And Gilligan, he's on course for a fastest lap here, I think. So I think Gilligan's going to get a point here for the fastest lap. So over the line, using the remainder of his ERS. Fastest lap for him, 1 minute 41.6. I don't think Scott is going to beat that. No, he's too far back. So it's victory for Ghost here in Azerbaijan. So the driver's coming out onto the podium then. So Ghost picking up another victory. Back-to-back victories it is for him. He's also won in France as well. So it's on to the last round then to decide who will become the Season 2 champion in Tier 1 in APPF1. So your final result then sees Ghost as the race winner once again. Then it's Vardy in second place. Palps beating MX over the line 2. Third place it's Kings is 4th. MX shown in 5th. Jack 6th. Had a double R. Tier 8. Ricky Knight. And Gilligan 10th. Again the point for the fast lap. Scott the last of the finishers in 12th. Womax retired, as did Emiliano, Koru, Taylor, Speed, and Ted also didn't make it to the checkered flag. With the championship as it is then, with 1 round to go, MX's points has increased to 98. Kings gets 17 points in this one, he goes up to 94, so the gap at the top has come down to 4 points. Ghost's victory moves on to 92, so he's very much in the chase. And Pulse's third place has thrown him a lifeline going into the last round. Scott is virtually out of the race, out of the running for the title now. So is Jackalo and Davila. So it's pretty much a 1 in 4 for the championship. Thank you for joining us. We expect Zach Sweeney to be back in the commentary box for the next Tier 1 race in the APPF1 for the last round of the championship. Thank you for joining us. Do make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And I'll speak to you again soon when the APPF1 returns.